pretty straightforward story as to why I was upset. It's no one's fault, not gonna lie. It was something that I've been working on for quite a long time to make it a hat trick, 3 appearances at the Olympics, and I was on track. All I had to do, if I didn't qualify, is to rank first in Malaysia. I've been ranked first in Malaysia for quite a while now, and I actually kept the momentum going. And all of a sudden, there was a rule change from the IOC that if you don't qualify, you can't use the wild card anymore if you've been to 2 Olympics. And I feel like that rule was directly targeted at me. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people was affected by that, but I did feel that it was a little bit unfair when you've worked for something, not just for like a day or 2 or a week. I've worked for it for like 3 years in a row. I mean, like if you hear it that way, like I'm pretty sure a lot of people could feel the anger, the disappointment in me. Empty. Like I had this hope, I held on to this hope for so long, and after learning about it in February last year when Eric came, it didn't feel good. I felt really awful. I still held on to hope for about 5 or 6 months actually, because I was like, hey, if I'm not gonna get the wild card, I'm gonna try my best. I'm still gonna give my best. Maybe Malaysia will have the first female to qualify on merit. I held on to that hope. I went a season best, but still fell short at the end. And when the Olympics happened, I actually left the country. I went to Thailand. I ran away. And I didn't watch TV for like 2 weeks. I didn't want to see whatever was going on. My mental health has always been my biggest competitor inside of me, the biggest demon I feel, for a really long time. When I realized it, I was actually in the US. I was studying in the US. I was surrounded by an environment or people who talk about stuff like this quite freely. I didn't even know I was struggling that much until someone actually like snapped me like, hey, you need to go see someone. You need to go see a therapist to figure out what's going on and what you can do to help yourself in case things like this happen again in the future. Like I said, over the course of 10 years, it didn't really happen once. I didn't struggle with my mental health just once. It was kind of like a roller coaster. It goes up, down, up, down, up, down. When I'm really high up, it felt good, yeah. But when I'm really, really down, and I feel like I couldn't pick myself back up, it's a really awful feeling. And if you don't know what to do to help yourself, you'll never getting out of that hole. So that's kind of what I realized. Yes, I was very stubborn.
How did you
I actually was in denial for quite a long time. It got to a point where my coach was the one who forced me to go to therapy. It wasn't just affect myself emotionally and mentally. It was affecting my swimming. It was affecting my studies as well. And also like my relationships with the people around me. So it was so obvious that I couldn't hide it anymore. So I just kind of gave it a try. The first session was kind of nice actually. And then after a really good session, I actually voluntarily went back for a second, third time and became a weekly thing. So yeah. I think it really depends from person to person. Like for me, like what my friend said, I can't just use the people around me as outlets. Like I feel like as athletes, we have our emotions run high, extreme, like extremely high or extremely low. Basically, I use my therapy sessions as an outlet to voice out my frustrations, and it was really nice to have a professional listen to you and offer help if I wanted it. And through my therapy sessions also, I discovered some of the things that I could do myself. Kind of turned to drawing a little bit. That's one of my, I still use it these days, like drawing to help me cope with some challenges, and also journaling, writing out my frustrations and whatnot instead of just keeping everything pent up inside. I think it's a very surface level still. I think that in Malaysia, my generation and also the younger generation are more open to talk about stuff like this, whereas the older generation are more reluctant to talk about this. They still think that it's sort of taboo, like, oh, there's no such thing as terrible mental health or anything. You just need to dig yourself out of the hole without offering solutions. And I do think that younger people are more open to talk about it because of access to social media. These days, we can kind of pick and choose the kind of content we want. And I use my social media to promote mental health stuff. And I could see that a lot of younger athletes, when they see my content, they're like, hey, it's actually not a bad thing to talk about this. And I do see a lot of other people using the same platform to talk about stuff like this as well, so yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you brought up social media because
I think social media is definitely a double-edged sword. We do live in a generation where information is like accessible anywhere, anytime. I think we have to be smart about the kind of content we consume. And also like people who always post things that kind of want to bring other people down, just don't be that kind of person. Like really. I have no idea why people do that. It may be their own upbringing, they're not happy with their lives. You just gotta learn to ignore like those kind of hate comments, because I've gotten to a point where I'm like numb to like comments like this, because at the end of the day I feel like I am trying to live my best life, and if you're not, then it's kind of like your own problem. Oh God, the fact that you asked this question just kind of poses like how bad the situation is in Malaysia. Because it's kind of like a given that younger athletes who are gonna go into the national team will face this kind of scrutiny. And I don't think like people see the problem here. Like, this is a huge problem in Malaysia. And instead of telling the younger athletes they need to buckle up for what's coming, I do have a thing to say to those who are using the platforms such as social media to like scrutinize or like bully people such as athletes, because like that is not okay. The haters they will always have something to say. Whether or not you do good, you do well, you don't do well, you train hard, you don't train hard, people will always have something to say. At the end of the day, I think the people who need to wake up and you know, like realize that what they're doing is really putting someone in like a tough spot are the people who are bullying people on the internet.